want you to go back to the day you started your Mary Kay business, all the feels. Were you excited? How many of you opened up a starter kit box? Who was an e-start? You got the email back from your consultant number and how to log in the e-touch and how to set up a personal website. Remember that day? Yeah. How were you feeling in that moment? What were you thinking in that moment? Now let's be clear. You're here today because somebody had the courage and the initiation to tell you about the Mary Kay opportunity. And without the person who shared with you how to do it, the person who sent you the link how to get started, you and I would not be sharing time, space, and energy and information today. Somebody shared with you. When I came into the business a long time ago, there was only one way, and it was a starter kit, and it was a paper agreement. And a snail mail. Wait for it to get there. There was a little bit of delay between my saying yes, writing out my check, waiting for my box to arrive. I had a whole lot of time to second guess, what in the world have I done? I was excited, but I was scared, conflicting emotions. Be clear, the best thing you can do, no matter how you started, is take a next best step. So this class is for consultants and senior consultants, and it's called Build Up Your Team. How many of you would like to have a team? Awesome. Well, let's back it up. How many of you would like for someone else to enjoy a Mary Kay business the way you enjoy a Mary Kay business? Early in my own journey, I did want a team build. I grew up in a Mary Kay family creating growth, supporting the company's growth, and taking advantage of investing in others for their personal advancement was the conversation. However, I didn't know who to look for initially. I looked for people that I thought needed Mary Kay. Ultimately, I needed the strength of our company. I needed that to align with bringing people in, that people who the company needs. And since nobody died and left me in charge, I truly did give over in prayerful surrender, asking God, lead me to the people that would benefit from our company, and give me the courage to share it in a way they can hear it. I hope you'll imitate that. There are two ways to approach team building. One is because you want to build a team and you want to advance in the business. I'm going to say that simultaneously, there is another way, and that's just having a heart for other people and supporting their personal growth in a way that advances their lives and benefits them. But you know what? It's always win-win. The second way to approach team building is that it's a response to our founder's request. Fast forward, I was a $1 million director in San Antonio, having lunch with our founder and the other $1 million directors at that leadership conference in 1996. They took us there on horse-drawn carriages. They picked us up at the convention center. We went into this beautiful restaurant, and there was Mary Kay Ash to greet us all. I had these experiences before as a $1 million director on top trips. But this day at leadership conference was different. She was more quiet. She was more serious. And as we sat down at the table, she would always have appetizer with one person, entree with another group, another table, dessert with another table. But at the end, we all ended up around one table. And Mary Kay started talking about what life would be like when she was no longer with us. And you know that uncomfortable moment when either your grandparent or your parent starts to talk about when they're no longer going to be with you? We tried to downplay the emotion. Mary Kay, no, you're always going to be with us. It's not going to be that way. And she went person by person and said, I need to ask you, Pamela, will you pass it on? So there's the way that you want to build your team, and then there's the way to understand that for our company to move forward in advancement, you must invite other people to be a part of our sales force. Will you pass it on? So what are the reasons we would not pass it on? Let's keep it real. Number one, fear is the first. I talked about it yesterday. 84% of all people hold on to irrational fear. Irrational means it's unreasonable. It's not even logical to have in the first place. Fear is an emotion that is stimulated by itself. Something is going to harm you or threaten you. So hold on to that could be the thing that's holding you back. Asking someone else to be a part of this business is not going to harm you or do any kind of threat to you. You have to put a name on your fear, and then you have to stare it down. What's your fear? Is it fear of what they're going to say? Is it fear of what they're going to think about you? Is it fear of rejection, fear of responsibility? What if I don't know enough? When you don't know an outcome, you have two choices. To have fear in the unknown, or to have faith that you're either going to get an outcome or learn a lesson. But either way, you're going to advance. Number two, I'm going to say if fear is the first, then the second reason you might not team build is that it's inconvenient. You typically have to go out of your way to say something new that you've never said before. Most of us say what we said yesterday because it's on the tip of our tongues, but we don't really have anything fresh to say. We just say the same things over and again. So if you're going to have to learn something new about team building, that would be a second reason. The third reason is that you don't have prospects, which translates into consistently maybe not selling the product. I will also say that if you're going to get married, you can easily come up with a list of 100 to 500 people to invite and bring you a gift. But if we tell ourselves that we don't have prospects or that we don't know anybody who would be interested, that becomes our reality. So how do we bust up these objections that are holding us back and preventing other people from enjoying the fullness of our opportunity? Team building is a door of opportunity that opens up possibilities. Team building is a mindset. And so if you're operating in one of those three obstacles, then self-awareness around what it sounds like to share the Mary Kay opportunity is key. I'm going to share with you straight up bold face. I had all three of those obstacles in my mind. I was scared to death that I wasn't fully convinced about the Mary Kay opportunity. And so I didn't know how I could convince someone else when I was unsure myself. I was definitely afraid of rejection, that I overvalued what other people thought about me, what they thought about Mary Kay. I overvalued what they thought of direct selling. I worked a 90-hour-a-week job as a high school English teacher who had the dance team, the drill team, the JV cheerleaders, choreographed the musicals, and so yeah, it was inconvenient for me to fit in Mary Kay. I didn't have prospects because I was living out of state, away from my family. I wasn't holding parties to meet new people. How in the world did I turn from that towards being someone who was a strong team builder and ultimately building a unit as an independent sales director, a $1 million director, a trip earning director, and a national area? Are you curious? Would anybody like to know the answers to that? It's a pathway and it's a mindset. I will tell you that. And it starts with us. Are you convinced that this is the best opportunity? Yesterday you heard from Nathan and Ryan and some of our Mary Kay corporate team what sets us apart in the direct selling industry. I knew this years ago about Mary Kay, but in the line of events this month around other direct selling companies, how they've changed their model, it is time for us to be loud and proud about the unique culture of our 62-year, one-of-a-kind, standalone opportunity. It's the best opportunity, the flexibility, the unlimited earning potential. The stage is set for personal and professional and financial and spiritual growth. These rewards are luxurious and they're generous. Just because you haven't experienced it yet doesn't mean they're not real. And that's where I had to pivot my mindset. I wasn't sharing with other people in a team building mindset what I had experienced yet or what my success was at that point. I learned that what I needed to share is the Mary Kay opportunity. When I wrapped my head around that reality, that I didn't have to have personally experienced it yet in order to share the rewards, or in order for the rewards to be true. I did not have to have earned the highest commission check yet in order to share the potential commission checks listed in Applause magazine with other people. Newsflash, it's not about me, and it's not about you. It's about the Mary Kay opportunity. From that foundation and mind shift, literally everything changed. And even though fear and intimidation was not completely gone, I did start to put into practice words that had been taught to me. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Everyone has fears and uncertainties, but courage unlocks the door to suppress and eliminate them. Once you take action on the thing you fear, it doesn't own you anymore. This part of personal growth that will both qualify and ready you for experiencing more rewards available through our Mary Kay opportunity. I believe that when this one piece is established, then you go to work on developing the skill of team building. It's just like booking a party becomes a skill. Holding a party, it's a skill. Closing the party, product knowledge, customer service, all of those things are skills. Team building is a skill. And once you've made the decision to grow your team, it takes you out of being curious or Cyrus in a next step. And then back to the inconvenience piece. In order to add something to your life, you probably have to take something off of your current plate to make a little bit of space for it. There are very few people who confess to being empty-handed. Have you ever heard somebody say, yeah, I've got so much time on my hands, I really need to just be a part of your team? No. Most people say they're very, very busy. Now, they may be very busy scrolling Instagram or Facebook, but it's important to understand that you're going to have to interrupt your pattern in order to add something new. A weekly plan sheet is still our friend. We still have only 7 days in the week, 24 hours in the day. So following mindset, which is the most important, I'm going to share with you a few really practical steps that have been key for me personally. Number one, determine a goal for your team size. You can always start small and work your way back up, or you can dream big and go after it massively and urgently all at one time in a different way. But the key is to get started. I'll tell you that a specific goal with a hard deadline is critical. And then you reverse engineer it. You go all the way out and decide what it is going to be, and then you come back in and reverse engineer the activity that will take you back out to that timeline. If I were to be a star team builder with 3 active people on my team by August 30th, depending on how many team members I have right now, I have to do the activity that will produce that. Here's the math. Let's say I have 0 team members, and I'm looking to add 3 active team members. Most directors can count on adding 1 out of 3 career chats, but definitely 1 out of every 5 career chats. So to be secure that I'm hitting my red jacket or beyond, I'm going to need to effectively share the career path with at least 15 women in the window of time that I want to add 3 active people. Does that make sense? Number 2, 15 women. 15 women, who are they? Well, I would recommend a twofold approach. The first is people already in your life. Family, friends, acquaintances, classmates, kids' moms, existing customers. I would make a list of absolutely everybody that I know, and I would star the names of those who, if they joined someone else's team, because that person had more vision, that person had more courage, more passion, more urgency than I do, I would be sick to my stomach and mad as a wet cat. Make a list of those people. Because if you don't ask them and God wants them to be in this business, somebody is going to ask them. I would start there and I would create massive urgent action. People you know is the most logical place for you to start, naturally, organically, authentically building your team. You have trust with them. They have history with you. They have and they don't have to see you as an authority to understand the Mary Kay opportunity. This approach is people that you're going to meet at your parties. So if you're not in the rhythm of having a level of activity in your business every week that you're satisfied with and that challenges you, parties are going to be foundational. So start with people that you know, add new parties where you're going to meet people. My recommendation is that you hold a power start every single month. If you take the equivalent, you're like, power start, wait, yeah, I thought that was like a starting goal. But if you hold a power start every month and you take the equivalent of 30 shared bases and divide it by 4 weeks, you're sharing the product with about 8 people a week. That breaks down to 2 4-person parties, 3 3-person parties, or 1 large party, whether that's in person or Zoom. It isn't that much activity. Today we have people holding 1 party a week with 20 to 25 people in a living room, with a clipboard, in a casual environment, selling hundreds of dollars of skincare and color in that moment. I was the great imitator. I didn't have to think of it. I didn't have to create it, but I could imitate what somebody else was doing to work well. And we don't live in a hole today. Back then, we didn't even have cell phones. We certainly didn't have shared social media where you could see exactly what somebody else was doing. Shared information has never been easier to access than today. In fact, a flaw might be too much information. So you decide how you like to work the business, in person, virtually, or a little bit of both. There was a formula back in the day that I mentioned yesterday from the couch, but I'm bringing it back to the Shaw area and Epic family, and it was 3 plus 3 plus 300. I did it week in and week out, without exception, even with my 90-hour-a-week work schedule. It's 3 parties a week, or at least the equivalent of that, with at least 3 adults over age 18 without another beauty consultant, and preferably 5 or 6 people at the party. 3 parties a week. It's 3 career chats, interviews, or guests at the event where marketing is shared. Every single week in, week out. And it was $300 in new sales. Now that's way outdated. When I first started the business, the basic was $38 and quickly moved to $59. But $59 was the highest price skincare set that we had. And we didn't have the delicious supplements that we have today. So that number can be higher. But for the sake of alliteration, if consistently you do 3 plus 3 plus 300, and the key word is consistently, not when you feel like it, not when you think about it, but every single week, you can take it to the bank. You will grow your business. And if you're incorporating into your skincare parties the 4-point recruiting plan so that you're intentional about sharing the Mary Kay opportunity, your likelihood of advancing goes up exponentially. You only get good at anything through repetition. You may not go solo on your first life. There's not an independent sales director at seminar who would love to have her beauty consultant ask her, hey, I'm ready to build a team and I'd like for you to model 3 in-person interviews for me this week. You know what? That's how I learned. Both one-on-one with my director doing the interview and also bringing guests to her events, putting people in front of her, letting her do her thing while I learned. There was a handoff of the baton eventually, but I took advantage of watching her work and breaking down what she was sharing, when, with whom, and why. Number 3, today there are so many professional tools on Mary Kay In Touch. There's a team building lesson in MK Confident, and if you go to In Touch, Education, Team Building. So go to In Touch, Education, Team Building. There are 2 downloadables in that drop down. One is called Steps to Success, and the other one is Living Lineup Cards, both sharing the Mary Kay career path and details. Take action while you're learning. It's false thinking to think you need to learn and then know and then do. Take action while you're learning. Don't wait until you know everything. You will never know everything. You can always say, I'm not 100% sure about that answer. I can find out and get right back with you. Or we can look it up together right now on Mary Kay In Touch from your smartphone or your tablet. Go to school on the marketing plan. Understand the compensation. Set your goal for a commission deposit. Have you ever thought about what amount of commission you'd like to have deposited into your bank account? Have you ever looked at printed commission checks and applause and gone, oh, wow, that's awesome? Have you ever written down a number that you'd like to have? Well, I'm going to invite you right now on your paper or tablet, write down right now, what's the amount you would like deposited? Set your goal for that. I'd love to spend just about an hour on this part because when I said yes to this exercise and I wrote down a number, within 3 months I went to work on that and the number was deposited and it never went below it since then. I invite you into dreaming big and being abundant in the way you strategize your commission check and then go to work reverse engineering the activity and the workload that need to happen in order to make your goal a reality. Number 4, not every person needs all the information. Sometimes when we start learning, we just want to tell people everything we know because we know something new. And so we tell them everything they want to know and then a little bit more about what they want to know. They didn't want to, we talk them into it and then we talk them right back out of it because we just keep talking. I found that asking questions is the best way to engage a new team member. Be interactive. Be a present listener. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Stop talking. Listen. What do you value most in your life right now? Be an active listener. Listen to what she says. What do you need in your life right now? Listen for what she says, and you're thinking to yourself, does what she need have an answer in the Mary Kay opportunity? And oftentimes she will say an amount of money, or more free time, or flexibility. So you bridge that. If I can show you, Jessica, how to keep what you value and get what you need, is this something you would consider? This question. What would you need to know about our company in order to make a yes decision? Listen, and listen for what she's asking, and then answer only what she asks. If you don't have experience around that answer, use someone else's story to make it personal and to build validity. Once you've answered, ask her again. What else would you need to know in order to make a yes decision? Listen, and listen for what she's asking, and then answer only what she asks. If you don't have experience around the answer, use someone else's story. And And then you keep asking that until she has no more questions. Keep in mind, you're the one guiding the outcome. You're the professional. She's following your lead. And when you get to this point, you're going to say, I'm going to text you a link and we can hop on your phone and make that, blank, 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 what she needs from the business a reality. Of course, you have to determine if she wants an e-start or add-ons, but keep it moving in the moment. Don't chicken out just because it gets awkward, just because you know you're getting ready to ask her to take an action step. Sometimes you'll say, will you think about it and let me know? Or she'll say, I've got to think about it and I'll let you know. No. Grab the moment. Be in the moment. If she says, I need to think about it, ask her again, well, what's one more thing you would need to know in order to make a yes decision? Ignore the think about it. Think about it's a stall tactic. It's a hand to the face. And you've got to recognize it for what it is. There's still another question, so invite the next question. Most people make decisions in the moment when they rationalize the pro and the con, and it's simple. They don't have to know everything about everything, but they know enough to make a $35 decision. Now, how many times have you clicked on Amazon before you knew absolutely everything about what was in your shop cart, and you click shop, and it's more than $35? But if you think about it, or if you leave it in your cart for a while, how many of you left things in your cart? Then you go back and you reevaluate. I'll take that out. I don't really need that. Okay, well, I don't need that. But if you're just shopping and you're putting it in your cart and you hit boom, it's over. It's a $35 decision. Be a professional and follow through. Full circle to the decision finalized. This is the most important step you're going to need right now because it calls on courage. And if you didn't do it yesterday, and if you've never done it before, when you're doing something new for the first time, it feels really awkward. And so you just got to push yourself through. Number 5, a solid practice for me for our national area throughout the years has been to book 10 parties by the 5th of the new month. If you don't have 10 parties booked by the 5th, you won't have 10 booked by the 10th. If you don't have 10 parties booked by the 5th, you won't have 10 booked by the 15th or the 20th. And then from every single party, you book another one and set it up for the second half of the month. This is a practice. This is a discipline, just like 3 plus 3 plus 3, and the same word supports it, consistency. If you do these two things in your business, 3 plus 3 plus 3 every week, and book 10 selling appointments by the 5th of the new month, you will renovate the outcome of your business. There are many variables in life beyond our control, which is why I've invested self-discipline in creating activity and results with what's within my control. And these are two things that are booking at the beginning of the month, the hard deadline by the 5th, and 3 plus 3 plus 300 every week. Hard deadline by the end of my week, a move-up goal and a commission check in mind by the end of the month. Reverse engineer it so that you know what kind of activity and skills support that outcome. Mary Kay Ash often said, when you help enough other people get what they want, you get what you want. Now let's talk about your new team members for a minute. Retention and keeping them engaged. How many of you recruited someone and she has gone to Mary Kay Evans? She is no longer a part of our journey. How many of you would like to learn more about retention, keep people engaged in the business and focused on growing their own businesses while you stay in motion? A mistake I've seen so many people make is starting a team build and then they put their personal business on hold to micromanage the efforts and activities of another person, their new team member. The goal is to bring a new team member in, get her off to a powerful start, encourage her steps, celebrate her wins, keep her connected, and then continue in your own pattern of 3 plus 3 plus 300 moving forward. Let's break this down a little bit more specifically. Number 1, whatever your independent sales director has established as a weekly gathering, whether virtual or in person, go there, be there, show up, 100% of the time. You may not like everything she does. You may not like the way she does it. You may think you know how to do it better. Put yourself in a position then to do it better. But for now, you show up at her events. If you start to customize every new team member's journey one-on-one, you'll cap out pretty soon how many team members you can actually support. I found that most women can only run about 30 businesses successfully. And so what you do for one is a precedent for another. I'm a fan of showing up where the director is giving education and celebration. You do want to catch them winning and support them with their next win so they know what their next win is and have clarity in that and what they're doing in their business. But what Mary Kay Ash used to say is KISS, keep it simple, sweetie. When people are booking appointments, sharing the product, making sales, inviting their own team members, that's really what it's all about. So keep it simple, repeatable, and duplicatable. And so number 2 is we want to be duplicatable. We want to do things the way we do them over and over again the same way. When you do what you do, and it can be transferred by someone else observing and then imitating, you're doing a really good job. If they can't imitate you, that makes team building a lot harder because they think, I can't do it. So you want to consistently do the things that you do the same way. It took me a minute, but I finally did memorize certain elements of the basics of this business as it related to sales and team building. Number 3, as important as it is to consistently bring in new people and continue to see new faces, retention is a really big deal. You want people on your team to be satisfied and enjoying their Mary Kay business. I've never known a dissatisfied beauty consultant who's selling product. For me personally, we have a 24-hour challenge right out of the gate. We encourage new beauty consultants to sell 24 products to 24 people in 24 hours. And that yields about 600 in sales, and people get excited. I really do want my new team member to have 5 skincare customers within her first 2 weeks. And you know what I know? I know our skincare is the best on the market. And I know that she has 5 relatives that she can call and say, I started a Mary Kay business and I want you to have a skincare set. Would you like this set blank, this set blank, this set blank? Boom, 5 sets right out of the gate. Immediately she has great sales, she sees the product move, and now she has built-in reorders. I always talk about opening the front door wide. Let everybody in. For any reason she wants to come in. Whatever reason she wants to come in. I came in just to earn a little bit of money for Christmas so that I could drive from Florida, where I lived, to Kentucky, where my family was, and I could afford to buy my family presents. That's all I wanted. So I got a star order. When I finished selling it, I thought, okay, I'm done. So that's not the way it worked out, thankfully. But open the door wide, let anybody in, and then lock the door tight. Woo, don't let anybody out. Nobody gets out the back door. Lock that back door. Because when you lock that back door, bottom line is she now has a reason to stay in because she uses only Mary Kay head to toe, and she has at least 5 skincare customers. Regardless of what she decides to do with her business moving forward or how big she plans to build it, if she comes in, loves the product, has 5 or more customers, she's not going anywhere. She is not going anywhere. I made a priority of this only when I became aware that I was inviting people in. They had a couple of wins, and they did a power start, and then they came to a power stop, and then they went away to Mary Kay Heaven, and I could not figure out what I was doing wrong. I didn't have a mindset for repeating the power start myself or closing the back door by making sure they were wearing only Mary Kay products. Tell them, throw all your product away. Throw everything of every other brand away. We're going to order you a personal using everything head to toe Mary Kay because you will sell what you're wearing. Go around, throw away other brands and replace them with our superior and amazing product. Retention is a natural byproduct of loving the product, wearing the product, and having some customers who do the same. Number 4, the ongoing learning. I believe develops under the umbrella of people skills. This is becoming more and more aware and more schooled on the unique differences between personality styles, perhaps understanding the DISC personality style, maybe Gallup Strength Finder, so that you're aware of how you can draw out the best of her strengths. Even the Enneagram is a great indicator of what she might naturally shine in the business and where she might naturally shy away. Self-awareness both of yourself and others. People skills and leadership, it's a lifelong journey. And in our business, we have a lot of opportunities to practice and to keep working at being better, more others focused, more solid and knowledgeable, more sensitive to elevating and celebrating the people God brings us. So what's next for you? Set a goal. Becoming a senior independent beauty consultant or star team builder or even DIQ in the next 30 days or 2 months, but be sincere about the goal you set. Remember that one of the first things I said was be specific with a hard deadline. Next, while you're here in Dallas, write down 5 to 10 people you would love to have on your team. And you'd be mad as a wet cat if somebody else asked them and they started with them. And then text them right here from Dallas. Hey, Mary Helen, I'm in the most electric environment and learning more and more about a company that I already love. This may or may not be a fit for you, but it came to mind, and you came to my mind. And I would love to get your feedback on our product and marketing plan as soon as I get back. Set up a time, you guys, while you're here, so that you're booked when you get home. And either with your independent sales director or yourself, one-on-one over a cup of coffee, let's get this journey rolling. Mary Kay Ash always said, if you think you can, you can. And if you think you can't, you're right. You know what? I know you can. And I know I'm right. God bless you as you carry the torch of our founder forward into the next years. Our future, our growth, the stability of our company, the increase of it, it's in your hands. God bless you. Have a wonderful afternoon, and I'll see you tonight all dressed up.